I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. If you can't believe it, I can't believe it.
Oh, you revealed it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, they can see.
For me, I had to watch you suffer and I had to insert the syringes and like inflict pain on you.
Don't say this to your friend that can't conceive. I was in shock. I was in shock. Like, to say I was in shock is an understatement. Hello, welcome back to another video. I was gonna say this was the last fertility video, but I think I'm gonna share another one because I found the short videos really helpful where women were just saying, these are the vitamins I had, this is what I did, these are things that I had in my diet. I still want this to be really helpful. I don't want this to be like a sympathy sob story. The whole point is that I got so much help from videos, whether it was knowing that I wasn't alone, but also things like vitamins and diet. So I feel like I want to do that, and we're not at the end just yet. But I'm so glad I decided to do this, and I just wanted to thank everyone for the support because it was so difficult. It honestly was a difficult decision knowing if I should share this, and I went into it, the whole first year I didn't film anything. All the London appointments, when I was discovering actually this is more than just not getting pregnant, there's actually, you know, I didn't film any of that because I had no intention to share it. I'm not one to share personal things, it says on YouTube, but I don't. So started filming it a year in when I knew the power and the useful tips and how important it was that I watched other women on YouTube, and I got so much help from it. I feel like I owed it back to share mine, and I was decided I'm going to share it regardless. I will film it all, and if I don't feel like sharing it, I won't. So I'm glad I did by the response. 90% of the response that I received were from women going through the same thing. The 10% were just thoughtful people that have never experienced this and just sharing kind words. That's so nice. But 90% were from other women, and 90% of those people didn't tell anyone. And they were saying like how I felt. Oh, I really felt alone. I'm starting my IVF last week. Did it last week, I'm starting next week, haven't told anyone, and we've had such good conversations. I've had so many nice conversations with all of you that helps me and it helps you. So that alone has made me really happy that I shared it, and it's been quite therapeutic because obviously this is like a diary. So thanks for everyone that's watched so far. If there's anything you need to know that you think I can help you with, please let me know and I'll include it in the next video. But I'm going to leave you with like a 1-minute video now. And then we're going to discuss, because the last episode was from 3 months ago and a lot has happened since then. And I'm in like a better frame of mind just because I'm like clear of all those medication. I just think my head was in a, you know, it's difficult, more mentally than physically. And I was never quite with it when I was talking to you. So I feel like we'll have a normal conversation after this. But I'll leave you with that video and then we'll have a chat afterwards.
Oh, my friends are...
Smile.
Let me feel your love again. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Be with you. Be with you.
I know. I haven't even seen this video yet because Paris hasn't edited it, but I know it's gonna be like, it's gonna choke me when I watch it. But yeah, should I show you? Honestly, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. If you can't believe it, I can't believe it. And I have held out longer than normal just because I'm not going to put those words out in the universe, but everyone that gets pregnant, I know we all feel elated. It's a miracle. It's precious. I'm not taking away from any woman that isn't like, wow, so thankful. I'm not taking that away from any woman, but you can't help think and relate to someone that's had more difficulty, had to go for IVF, like crossing in the mind, this is never going to happen for me physically, scientifically, medically, this is not working. And when it happens, For me, conception and birth of a child is an absolute miracle. It's like the biggest miracle, the biggest blessing. And when I had Honore, which wasn't easy, but by far wasn't hard like this, even then I just, when I saw the pregnancy and the baby come out, I was blown away with the miracle of it all. So I know we all feel like that, but this one just feels like an absolute miracle. And we're going to get into it, and I know you're going to want to know like the IVF details, and I'm going to share everything, of course. But this is my not so little bump, and it is bigger than what it should be, but my obstetrician says we shouldn't compare ourselves, but it is big. Paris is going to pop down and give a little chat before we get into it. Okay, he's here after he's been stomping around the house, blow drying his hair. I'm sure that you all want to hear it from the man's side as well. So, okay, nearly headbutt me. Is there, what do you want to share from your, because, what do you want?
Not good.
What do you want to share from your, oh, this is hurting my sitting like that. What do you want to share? Huh?
You can't sit like that.
Oh yeah, obstetrician said I can't, she kept telling me off, now I'll be like,
Oh, you've revealed?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, they can see, hello.
I was thinking I have to be
Sit like
discreet.
this. Yeah,
This is quite baggy, but your belly's huge.
Yeah, because my obstetrician reminded me yesterday how much pelvis pain I had. It was quite horrific because I literally have no hips and had that big baby. And she told me all the things to prevent, and one is crossing the legs, but I do it all the time. Okay, so do you want to give a summary of how IVF was for you, and then how you felt when going through all what we went through, how you felt when I got pregnant? What's funny?
No, it's a happy laugh, because now I'm happy.
Yeah.
But IVF was very hard for
Tell
me.
them, not me.
Oh, for the man, it's very, very hard. Emotional support every day, having to handle those syringes.
I think you liked that.
I'm not used to talking to a camera.
I know, even me, I haven't talked for ages.
No, obviously it was a lot harder for you, and it was really difficult. And but for me, I had to watch you suffer, and I had to insert the syringes and like inflict pain on you, and the hope that it's gonna work. And every time it wasn't working, it was.
And
Really
was you
upsetting
surprised?
for me.
Did you think it was like me, that we were going to have these injections and be on the plane with a baby the first round?
Yeah,
That's
of
what I
course.
thought.
Yeah, but I didn't really understand. First, when I went for IVF, I actually thought it was a bit awkward, not in the sense that it's not
Natural?
Yeah, exactly. In the sense that it's
Yeah,
not
we both
natural.
spoke like that a lot, didn't we?
We already said that in a previous video,
Yeah.
where I thought it was like more of a lab blastocyst experiment that we're making.
Yeah.
Whereas it's actually follicles and eggs that you've always had since you were born. They're just being extracted instead of being
Yeah.
inside your ovary, and they're forced to be extracted. Whereas normally you only extract one a cycle, and this just pushes your naturally occurring eggs, which you've had since day one.
Yeah, and maybe you know this,
And,
but everyone we speak to is like, oh, I don't want to do IVF, it's too scientific, it's not natural. But you know, first of all, when you have no choice, like you're not going to have a baby anyway and you need the help, it is what it is. And you should be grateful for that baby, well, I'm sure everyone is, but it definitely is more natural. Like from the gender that they produce, how many they produce, like it's natural, it's just pushing it along. But anyway, how did you feel when I was like, let's go over the day that you found out I was pregnant?
Oh, when you're pregnant, not just on the IVF side, it's the thing is what was hard is not only the pain from seeing you upset, is having to keep a brave face, because if I cry and you're crying and we're all crying, and it's...
And we had Honore with us.
It's, yeah, really, so one of us had to stay like as if everything was okay and...
Yeah, sometimes I felt like you think we were just like on holiday. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, hello. And I only cried in front of Honore once, and that was at the last result, just because I was sitting on the sofa, the call came out of nowhere, and he was there, and I couldn't hold it back, and you can hear in the video, he's like, Mummy's crying, and that was the only time,
But then, found out you were pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it.
I know. Well, you didn't believe it, so I have a video that I shared a bit in that clip, I'll maybe put up it here. It was like 6 in the morning, and it was such a bad video. I looked terrible. Like, I'll be honest, when I used to do those pregnancy test videos, I always made sure I had my like hair brushed and, you know, it might be on YouTube. So I always was conscious of that. This one I wasn't. I looked so ugly. My hair was greasy. You're not even in the shot because I wasn't doing it properly because I really thought it wasn't going to be positive. And you didn't really say much. And when I stopped filming, I think I stopped filming, you said, well, let's wait. Because of like when we'd had positive before and it didn't go well. I was like that as well.
You had a chemical pregnancy, then 4 rounds of IVF.
And we fully thought I was pregnant.
We did get some eggs, some embryos, but it was just never getting to the final stage.
Yeah.
And to me it was a bit like, okay, I believe you're pregnant, I can see it on the test, but do I believe it's gonna go the whole
Yeah, because we didn't get so many
cycle?
eggs. We had like what, 2 that made blastocysts but didn't pass genetics? Was it only 2? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, so quite a lot, but the 2 that we thought we were pregnant, and most people implant like that, but because of my age and all the problems I had, we genetically tested them, and they both, not only were they not viable, but they were one that, not only did they have chromosome issues, but they were ones that wouldn't survive past 8 weeks, so they were bad. And so I thought maybe I'm pregnant and that's going to happen anyway, like another chemical pregnancy. So we both, for like a good month, were like la 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 la.
Yeah, then in France, after we came back from the last round, we actually got our karyotype tested, make sure we don't have chromosomal anomalies.
Yeah, because we had so many bad chromosome things.
We thought maybe something wrong with one of us, and Honoré was lucky, but it's actually
I'll tell all that afterwards. So yeah, anything else? I don't want to make it too long. Is there
okay.
anything else you want to say?
No, you said about me finding out. Yeah, so the day we got the harmony test, was not called harmony anymore.
NRP2.
And they said that it didn't have any genetic issues. Well, out
We
of
were
the
shocked.
selection.
After I read
That is when it started kicking in.
Exactly.
For me. I was like, oh,
we're
keeping this one?
Yeah, and with Honoré, obviously we read the chromosome thing first, of course, but then I was like, and what's the gender? And what's the gender? And this one, we actually read that it was healthy. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, to see no chromosome issues after all of what we'd been through before, you just expect to see chromosome 16 or something like that. I gave it to you, didn't I, and said, is this healthy? Am I reading it right? Even though it says no chromosome issues.
Yeah.
You couldn't even read it. You were like, I can't read it. I'm like going to pass out. And then we cleared that it was healthy, and then we sat there for like 15 minutes, didn't we? And then we read the gender.
Yeah, the gender I really didn't get.
No.
Because a boy would be a brother for Honoré and a girl would be a different sex and experience both sides. So I really didn't care about
And going
that.
from nothing to that.
The good thing about IVF is that if you do the genetic testing, which is very expensive by the way,
Yeah, in any country.
before implanting, you know if there's any issues with the chromosomes, with anything.
Yeah.
So it's good, so you don't have to go through the implantation stage and then
lose it.
having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
With natural birth, that harmony test on a 10-week scan,
It's the
if
same
it
thing.
comes negative,
Yeah.
if it comes as there's an
Which
anomaly,
has happened to my friend.
then you have to induce
Yeah.
a miscarriage, or it will happen naturally.
And this happened to my
So
friend as well.
This is worse than actually IVF, where you know before implanting, you're like, okay, we're not going to implant. So that's why when we found out the harmony test wasn't good, like, it was such a relief, because then it would have been horrendous to like have to.
Yeah. I would
miss a
do what my
miscarriage.
friend done. I think I would just wait until the miscarriage happened, which is what she did. But that's awful. You know it's going to happen.
But the Greek lady at the harmony test center said when it's natural, a lot of the times.
Detected before, like mine.
Yeah, it
Like first 2 weeks.
gets filtered better than in the IVF.
Yeah,
process.
they explained how the body is still more intelligent and more advanced than science, which makes perfect sense.
Okay, I'll let you
Okay.
speak.
So, I've forgotten all what I was going to say. So the biggest question I think you're going to ask me, I can't sit that side. The crazy thing is all through IVF, I never produced anything from the left, not one. I think I got like the odd egg, but they were always empty eggs. So we couldn't believe it when we went for our first scan that the baby's from the left. I was like, sorry. We both said, what? Because Dr. Zakwan never told me it wasn't working. He said it's lazy. And the last 2 egg retrieval, he's like, I'm doing a couple of things to try and wake it up. There's a couple of things that I can do. He said it's not working, but it's not responding. It's lazy, and I'm trying my best to wake it up. And I think he played a part in that because Honoré was from the right as well. So yeah, the baby is on the right. I'm not allowed to cross my legs. The baby is on the right, so I can't ever. No, baby's on the left, so I can't eat on the left. Okay, so the biggest question I think you're going to say, did this happen with IVF and what happened with IVF? So during IVF, we did actually get a fruitful result on one of the cycles, and I didn't share half of what happened during IVF, and the plan was we had an embryo that passed genetic testing. So Dr. Zakwan did get us an embryo, and it passed the genetic testing, and my plan was, he said, look, we've got this beautiful embryo, but we cannot implant it. I had to go home and come back and have a frozen embryo because there's more chance it takes for implantation, which is crazy to me. I would have thought a fresh embryo would be better, but not the case. So the plan was I had to go home anyway, but I had to go on hormones to try and reduce the inflammation of my lining. I was on anti-inflammatory diet. I'd already cut out coffee, I don't drink. I was doing everything possible for me to reduce it, but that wasn't working, and it needed like medical intervention. I'd had it cut away twice, and it would grow back within 2 weeks, which is quite severe case. And he said to me, like, this is one of the last treatments I can try, and it was a hormone, and my body doesn't react well to hormone. I've never been on the pill. When I was younger, I went on the pill, but I don't react to it. So he put me on hormones, and I was meant to go on them for like 2 to 3 months to try and reduce the lining. I could only go on it for a month, like literally after a week, and it kicked in. I was so ill, more ill than any of the IVF, but I obviously knew it was important, so I had to do it. I was in France, I was in bed the whole time, I was so sick, but I did it. And I called Dr. Zakwan and said, will a month do it? He said, go get a scan and we'll see if it's reduced. I went to get a scan in France. It felt so weird not seeing Dr. Zakwan, and it reduced. The doctor was like, it looks fairly normal. So I told Dr. Zakwan, and I had a choice. I could either go back and implant. That was my window before it, because on these hormones you can't conceive. So I had to come off of them, and it was going to grow back. So I had a window of 1, maybe 2 cycles of having the implantation be a success. So I said to myself, should we go back and implant that one embryo we have, or should we stay in France? And I felt like I needed to recover a bit more, and I thought we'll go on the 2nd month, and we had Honoré going to school for the first time, and it was all very overwhelming. So I just said, we'll go and implant around Christmas time, and the lining should be better. During that time, of course, we're going to try naturally. Like, of course, there was still a small percentage that it could work. So, and you know, implantation doesn't always take the first time. So of course, I'm going to try naturally and have whatever's our destiny. I was trying absolutely everything, and Dr. Zakwan had prepped me for implantation, which means that I could have been prepped to conceive naturally for the first time. I had no infection. My inflammation was down. Yes, my egg reserves are low, but there's nothing we can do about that. So I was in this window where things were looking up for me. So we tried the first month when I had the scan, and everything looked great. And I was already devastated over the final round not working, because although we had one fruitful round, it wasn't enough. Like, normally the first one doesn't work. I didn't want to then like get pregnant, not waste that embryo, but that embryo doesn't work, and then I have to start all over again. So basically we were trying to get another embryo and just have more backup and more security. That was why we did the final one. I wanted to give it one more go before we just went with such a small chance, basically. So tried naturally, nothing happened. And I was calm, I was happy in France, nothing. And then I was really, really like, I thought I was at the bottom, but I was rock bottom. I was like, this is the first time that I've got my best window, I've got no inflammation, and I still can't get pregnant. How is the implantation going to work? And I was very, very low, and they say you have to hit the lowest to come back up again. And I had this revelation in the shower, and this is easily said than done because I tried for 2 years to have this mindset and it did not happen. It's like you've got to go through the motions and you've got to hit rock bottom. And you can say it in your own way, whether it's just accepting in your own mind, whether you're speaking to the universe or if you're religious and you speak to God. And I remember I said to God, I said, you know what, I really accept our destiny. You've given us the most beautiful dream boy. I'm a mum, Paris is a dad. If that is all we are meant for, if that is what we are meant for, not all we're meant for, if that is what we're meant for, I accept it, and I'm so grateful for him, and I truly meant it with all my heart that I'm so grateful to have Honoré. And I met some women that don't even have one, and I wasn't fixated on the women that have 3, 5 children, you know. I really felt grateful, and I said, whatever you give us from now on, I accept is the destiny meant for us, and I meant it with all my being. Then we just kind of carried on as normal, and I don't agree that it's like, oh, just be intimate with your husband, have a drink, as soon as you forget it, you get pregnant. You can't go by that, and don't say that to people, because don't say this to your friend that can't conceive, because we all are trying our utmost to just be intimate and not think about it. It's impossible. You can't say that to someone. We're all doing our best to think like that, but subconsciously we're like, oh, no. You have to just reach that point. So it does have truth that as soon as you're at peace with it, it does happen. That is true. But the message that you need to give to your friends is that you need to go through the motions and you will find peace and it will happen. That's more of a less pressure way to say it. So that happened to me, and I nearly didn't do any pregnancy tests, but I was still like had pregnancy tests there from before. I wasn't sleeping. I still had effects from the hormones, and I did the test and it said negative, and I thought, yeah, well, I knew that. And then I did something on my phone. I looked back down and it was just over a minute and there was a line. I was in shock. I was in shock. Like, to say I was in shock is an understatement. And like I explained 2 minutes ago, I didn't accept it because, you know, when you've already had one that's not viable, you're a bit more conscious. So didn't accept it for a month. Obviously, I was very careful, no coffee, and, you know, I was being very careful. And then, like Paris said, when we got the NIPT test, that was when we truly accepted, like, oh my gosh, we're pregnant. And with Honoré, I announced it at 3 months, I think. But this one, I've left it as long as possible because I just want to protect it at all costs. And like, I barely, like, when I see my friends, I wear a big jacket. Like, I'll put up some pictures of what I'm wearing. I go into like the office at work, and like 90% of the people don't know I'm pregnant because I cover it, because I just want to keep it to myself, and I'm scared. And so I keep going to cross my legs again. It feels so strange to be pregnant, but I won't go into it anymore. I've been long enough sitting here talking. But yeah, the answer is it wasn't through IVF in implantation, but Dr. Zakwan did get us an embryo, and we did plan on going back to implant that. And it happened naturally. So it wasn't natural because I had the hormones. So the thing is what Dr. Zakwan does as well is that, which I gathered this through like seeing results, and, you know, he shares thank you notes. And what is very common with him is that a lot of the women have babies conceived naturally after he gives them a baby through IVF. So he doesn't just get the embryo and get the baby implanted. He really thoroughly tries to fix the body as much as possible so that you can then conceive naturally if that's an option. And I feel like he prepped me so well for the implantation that it happened for us naturally. And I stand by, if I wasn't on them hormones and my inflammation wasn't reduced for the implantation to work, that I don't think it would have happened. And they told me that by mid-2024 I wouldn't have any egg reserve to conceive IVF or naturally. So I truly feel like it was meant to be, and it was truly like the biggest miracle. I said to God, if you give me this baby, I will never ask you for anything else again. And I mean that. Apart from health and happiness for my family, even just health, that's the only thing I will try to preserve. But I will never ask for anything again, and I feel like I don't need anything anymore. Just health for my family. So obviously I'm over the moon. I could sit here for half an hour telling you. I will carry on this. I'm so excited to like start the pregnancy inspiration outfits. It's something I really enjoy. But that's it. It's very long already. But that's the news that we have. Thank you for all the support. We're just so incredibly grateful. Honoré is so happy, but he's made it very clear he only wants a brother. Girls aren't an option in this house, even I'm kicked out of his room sometimes. And he insists that Bambi's a boy, so she's allowed in the gang. We know the gender because we did the NIP test, and I was so tempted when they said, because we wanted to know the chromosomes, and then they tick a box, do you want to know the gender? And we looked at each other, I was so tempted to say no, because there's no way I can go for all this again. It will be the last baby, and I thought what an amazing surprise that would be. But my impatience got the better of me, and I said, yeah, I want to know, both of us. So we do know, and I'll reveal that, of course I will. But I haven't told everyone, that's the thing. I haven't told all my friends, like good friends, that I'm pregnant, because they do know, they're gonna know before this video goes out, but I want to tell everyone close to me the gender before I announce it on the internet. But of course that's coming. But yes, I'm gonna go now. Got to go pick up Honoré from school. But let's just say I know it's a very big baby again, same as before, because they keep putting my due date first. It's due like mid-June, and now it's due May. And they keep saying my ovulation I got wrong, but I knew my ovulation to the hour. So like Honoré, it's another big baby that's going to come early, and maybe it'll be here in May. Can't believe I'm here, and I get so embarrassed saying, oh, I'm pregnant. I never tell anyone, I get so embarrassed. But anyway, I'm talking too much. That's our amazing news. I never thought we'd get here, but at the same time, I also did never lose hope, and I did get to a place of peace. But that's it. I literally could talk to you for an hour saying I'm pregnant. I can't believe I'm saying the words. But I'm getting all itchy and nervous. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and looking forward to doing some pregnancy outfits with you. Feel a bit awkward and embarrassed now, but bye from the bump as well. So happy.